Every season of Survivor is a story. There are main characters, sidekicks, comic reliefs, and villains. A good season of Survivor tells a compelling story that has you rooting for someone and against someone else. You will want to watch episode after episode to see what happens next until it all finishes with a hopefully satisfying conclusion. Each story that we look at together will go through one character's journey from beginning to end, from the time they're introduced until they inevitably get their torch snuffed or win the game. We are going to look at every character, moment, and strategic move to determine whether they were a hero or a villain and whether they were a good or bad strategist. And with that, welcome to Once Upon an Island. For reference, we are only observing what the TV show is showing us and what stories being told through the show. No future seasons will be mentioned, as the story and characters here have no idea about what happens in those future seasons. All character moments and strategic moves are interpreted with the mindset of what the story is trying to tell us. And with that,
39 days, 18 people, 1 survivor.
Bob Crowley, a 57-year-old physics teacher, was a castaway on Survivor's 17th season, Survivor Gabon. And finally, Survivor has made the leap to high definition, and what a world of difference this makes as they are visiting Africa for the second time in the show's history, and the cast we have here are 18 newbies. We learn that Exile Island is back with a hidden immunity idol being there, and we then meet our 18 castaways who are told by Jeff that the two oldest players here, Bob and Jillian, will be in charge of drafting 2 tribes. Wait, why are they doing this? This exact twist was attempted in season 5 Thailand, and that's considered one of the worst seasons of all time. And then a different variation of it was attempted in seasons 10 and 14, and season 14 sucked. This twist has never worked, but like a stubborn mule, they're doing it again. Bob is in charge of the Yellow Coated tribe, and his tribe is drafted way better than Fong, and it isn't even close. This is proven almost immediately when they win reward, and the Olympic runner who's on Fong, Crystal Cox, finishes in dead last on a running challenge. Upon arriving at the camp, Bob immediately gets to work, where we see him praised in the actual show and even more so in a secret scene.
Bob, he's just like the forever Boy Scout.
Go Bob! Go Bob! Let's just give him some moral support.
Bob, he's totally like, he gets it together. He's got the camp running really smoothly. He's 57 years old and he's awesome.
It's actually turning out to be a nice looking bench.
This is a slingshot we're supposed to kill birds with, but it also acts as a Hawaiian sling.
Is that the sundial?
Yeah, I was gonna...
Show me how that works.
We're right at the equator. It'd be a right straight line right over, which we
So
almost...
this isn't read like a clock then?
No.
Having Bob around is definitely an asset, but I'm not looking to take him to the end.
Despite Bob being the oldest and having been designated leader by Jeff, it is clear that actually Marcus, the golden boy, is the one people want to follow and do whatever he says. But then we see Coda win immunity thanks to Bob on the puzzle, and then at the next immunity challenge, they win again. Yeah, this episode is very Fong heavy with how much they suck, that Coda is kind of given little to no screen time. With that second immunity win, they net themselves some fishing gear as well, which Bob already knows how to use and is able to catch his tribe food. And that's it for the premiere of Survivor Gabon. So far, Bob seems like a hard worker that people like, but it will take some more screen time to understand whether he has a chance in this game. By the way, if you want to pick what subjects I cover, including story videos, rankings, and even amazing race content, then consider supporting this channel on Patreon. Our show is patron supported, and that's why you don't see sponsors in any of these videos, as the patrons are the ones with the power to dictate what videos are made. If this interests you, then check out the link in the description. Thank you for your support. Episode 2 sees Marcus, the golden boy, catching fish, and everyone wants to work with him. It seems like that, for now, Bob is viewed as this free agent swing vote, if it does come down to that. Their tribe does lose reward with Sugar sent to exile, but no one's really worried about her finding the idol because the only person in history to have ever found it in episode 2 is Yule, and Sugar is not Yule. Back at camp, everyone's like, Paloma's super weak at everything. She needs to go. However, Bob notices that Ace is protecting Sugar for some reason.
If you line everybody up, the two on the bottom are Paloma and Sugar.
I like Sugar's person. You know, she's loyal. And loyalty stands a lot for this game, you know that.
Yeah, Ace is putting himself at risk by doing this manipulation. By calling out Paloma, he's protecting Sugar big time. He wants to keep Sugar. And I can see why. If she makes it to the jury, she will vote for him. But that can irritate people, and it worries people. And that's what worries me. Ace is making me real nervous.
I'm pretty sure he wants Paloma out.
Oh, without a doubt. I really feel like Ace is talking about bringing Sugar right to the end.
It'll definitely be Paloma and then Sugar.
Yeah.
Or Sugar then Paloma. I mean, they're going. He's doing something very stupid. He's bringing Sugar to the end because she's weak.
Notice how it's only episode 2 and Sugar is viewed as weak and stupid. As I said, not the same as Yule. What has she done to deserve this criticism? I don't know. Unfortunately, Bob does lose them the immunity challenge on the puzzle, and at Tribal Council, it's revealed that just recently Sugar lost her father, and it's really hard on her. Everyone then goes to vote, and Paloma is gone, 7-2.
Paloma, tribe has spoken.
Episode 3 sees a twist as everyone ranks each other on their own tribe, and surprise, we're drafting brand new tribes from these rankings. Bob was ranked 3rd on Coda, and despite that, he's still the last draft pick, where he is still with Marcus, Charlie, and Corinne, but now he is joined by Randy, Susie, and Dan. Back at camp, everyone of the old Coda hype Bob up by saying he's the hardest worker here, which catches Susie's ear, and she says, I'm gonna do the same thing. Randy then single-handedly wins them immunity. So we move on to episode 4, where Bob and the golden boy Marcus catch a bunch of fish. Bob does this a lot, I've noticed. This is all directly contrasted with Fong, who are overeating and running out of rice fast. Now, Randy has integrated himself quite nicely into this new Coda tribe, and Susie has been mostly quiet, but Dan loves to talk and makes very bold, open commitments to the tribe. He hates feeling rejected. But Coda is like, whoa, these open commitments to us make us not trust you. If you're confused by what I just said, don't worry, I am as well. We then go to the immunity challenge, where Randy has a nasty trick up his sleeve.
Here's where we stand. This is the 5th and final round. Fong has 7. Coda has 6. 1 throw left. Go! Right there! Yes, you got it! Freeze, Ace, freeze! Right there!
Randy pulls the best one on Ace, and that'll do it!
Yes!
Coda scores! Coda wins immunity!
Episode 5 has Bob pointing out that everyone eats their fair portion, but for some reason, Dan has been eating the food equivalent of 2 or 3 people, and this is annoying everybody. But then, at the reward challenge, this one is simple. It's just running around a track to catch the other tribe while carrying a heavy snake. Crystal, the Olympian runner, drops out while Bob does not, and Coda wins, and with that comes this exchange.
Can you share?
We have one.
No?
We want some strawberries.
Losing over.
Randy, to me, he's a troll. He's a troll under the bridge that's just mean and angry with the world. I don't play like that. Do not disrespect me like that.
I love winning challenges. More importantly than winning challenges, I absolutely love watching them lose.
Randy is such a jerk, and I love it. Back at camp, everyone's like, I guess we have to portion out this reward or Dan will eat it all. But then they win immunity, and Randy, Bob, and Marcus all catch a massive turtle, so life is good. Episode 6 sees a reward challenge that heavily relies on Bob to win, and he does just that. But then Sugar is sent to exile for a record 5th time in a row. What the heck? And with the reward that they won, they get to go on a beautiful helicopter flight, and upon landing,
Oh my God. Holy cow, these are letters from home.
Your family loves you, Bob.
I don't know which one to read first. This is from David. I'm close to these people here, but these are the people that are the closest to my heart. Life is good, and I realize how lucky a man I am. I'm here, and I can't wait to get home to them.
after that very emotional reward for Bob, they're all told that there's another twist. Both tribes are going to tribal council tonight, no matter what. Fun! Back at camp, Marcus says his new Final Four is now with Charlie, Corinne, and Randy. Bob is not in the picture. But then they all go to vote, and Dan is eliminated 4-3.
Dan, tribe has spoken. Happy to go.
Episode 7 kicks off with Coda receiving tree mail. It says, "Go to the beach and don't leave your personal possessions behind." Sounds like a merge to me. This merge is looking very favorable for Bob. The Coda 6 have all agreed to be the final 6, and Pagong the remaining 4 Fong members. But it is looking like this will be an easy victory for Marcus, with Bob being voted off at final 5 or 6. With this massive feast comes a clue for the idol, which results in Randy almost instantly finding it, and
I found it, and I don't want it, and if anybody else wants it, by all means, take it.
Immunity, the most important thing in this game. But if I were to take it, then I'd look like a snake. I can't take that chance.
With all due respect to President Bongo, I am the new king of Gabon. I'm sorry, but I rule. This ocean, it's mine. All those Fong, Coda members, they work for me.
These people are so stupid. I got 10 people to throw an immunity idol into the ocean.
wow, the cockiness on display here is something else. Randy and Marcus are confident they're going to run this merge game and are not at all worried about Sugar potentially having the other idol from exile. But then another twist happens. This isn't a merge. It's a tribe swap. Bob stays on Coda with Marcus and Susie, but is joined by Kenny and Crystal. Bob and Marcus know they're sticking together, but they're not 100% sure if Susie will flip or not, since technically she's been on both tribes. There is one way to make sure Susie never gets a chance to decide this, so everyone competes in the immunity challenge. And
this challenge is officially underway. And after 1 second, Crystal is out. Last person left in this challenge wins immunity for their entire tribe. Coda down to their last member, the oldest person in this game, Bob. All it takes is a moment's lapse in your concentration and you're out of this challenge. That pole is right on the edge. Both poles on the edge of the board for Maddie. Bob hanging in there for Coda. Bob drops his pole. Maddie wins immunity for the Fong tribe.
I mean, I know Bob lost, but he's like 30 years older than Maddie and came so close to beating him. Back at camp, everyone is scrambling to get Susie's vote. So, at Tribal Council, they all go to vote, and
I think it's important to keep the tribe physically strong and ready for challenges. My hope is to keep us as strong as we can.
I think that's total bull. What he just said in his mouth. He's definitely looking for a merge around the corner and have numbers to take out Fong. Is it not a strategy, Marcus, to vote out Fong?
You know very well that we beat you guys 7 times in a row, and why would we want to change any of the people in there?
But I feel that you are the leader of Coda, and that you are the special Coda god that everybody's listening to vote somebody out.
I'm one of the 5 opinions here, and we don't see who we vote for until the final vote is called, so.
I'll read the votes. Kenny. 2 votes, Kenny. Marcus. We're tied. 2 votes, Marcus. 2 votes, Kenny. 9th person voted out of Survivor Gabon and the first member of our jury. Marcus, tribe has spoken.
wow, this is huge. Susie flipping means Coda is now down 4-5, and the golden boy, who was going to be handed the win, is now gone. At camp, Bob says he needs a merge bad, and Kenny says Bob is next.
Getting your first look at the new Coda. Marcus voted out at the last tribal council. Corinne, you look miserable.
I'm pissed, yeah. He didn't deserve to leave the game.
Then who does? Who does deserve to leave the game?
They then lose reward because for some reason they're still not merged, and Bob is sent to exile where he looks for the idol.
I just arrived at exile and my choice is not to take comfort. I'm going to go for the clue, and that's a real clear choice for me because I am in deep doo-doo back at camp. Perfect location, but I don't see it. Maybe Sugar found the idol. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm going to do something. My plan is to make something that looks like an idol. I found something that looked like a skull, so I took the resin that I found in one of the trees, glued the front of it with resin, and then taken knickknacks that I've found around. This is my new fake idol. I potentially have an idol that could threaten somebody else in the tribe. It's sort of like when you're holding up a bank. You don't necessarily need a gun. If they think you got a gun, they might leave you alone.
What Bob doesn't know, that we do know as an audience, is that Sugar got the idol in episode 2, believe it or not. Everyone on Fong knows this, so Bob is one of the few left out of the loop at the current moment, and that fake idol he made, it's top tier. Upon arriving at the immunity challenge, they finally merge, which makes Bob oh so happy, and Susie wins immunity, and back at camp, people get their eye on Sugar. As it turns out, she's the swing vote. Coda has 4, Fong has 4, Sugar will decide who gets the power. Coda needs her desperately to regain numbers, so at Tribal Council, everyone goes to vote.
First vote. Who cast this vote?
CC, Crystal Cox.
Crystal. 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 Charlie. 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 10th person voted out of Survivor Gabon and the second member of our jury. Charlie. Charlie, tribe has spoken. Time to go.
Things really aren't going Bob's way, are they? Up until the fake merge, everything was going just peachy. Not so much here in episode 9, where Sugar tells Bob that she wants Randy out, and he confesses to her that he couldn't find the idol, as she tries to contain her laughter because she knows that she has the idol. He says, hey, I made a fake one that we could use together to trick someone. Then at the Survivor auction, Kenny wins an advantage that lets him send one person to exile while also taking their money. Great. He sends Bob. At exile, Bob once again says, screw it, I'm looking for the idol. But instead, he just gets a clue he had already found. So instead, he decides, I'll take a hike.
I was a little depressed, but I got a lot of time here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go for my own little safari. When I came to Africa, I came here to experience not only Survivor, but sort of learn about myself, to really think about how lucky a person I am, what a wonderful family I have. Takes your breath away. I see why they call it the Garden of Eden.
Back at camp, Sugar approaches Bob with the most devious scheme anyone has thought up of all season long.
Randy is an ass, and I loathe him with every inch of my being.
You didn't tell anybody that you didn't find it, right?
I think that
Randy would fall for it.
If I gave him the fake one.
And it would be hilarious.
If you think he'd fall for him, but I just can't.
Yeah, don't worry.
If we can figure out a way for me to give it to Randy, I will do that.
Sugar wants to play the joke on Randy. My life expectancy is a little bit better off allowing her to have the satisfaction of me giving Randy the idol. I got nothing to lose. It's not a real idol. I can't save myself with it. The only way I can save myself for another tribal council is by convincing somebody else to use it, and I think it should do the trick.
Corinne then says, Bob, you're best to not trust Sugar and just give your idol to Randy. He says, yeah, of course I will. Of course I'll give my idol to Randy. Sneaky, sneaky. So when he talks to Randy,
trying to figure out what to do.
It's your call, it's your idol. Bob has not only told me that he has the idol, but he showed it to me. I saw it, it was 2 feet away from me. All I can offer you now is if you're in the finals and I'm not, you got my vote for $1 million. Bob did one of the most selfless acts I've ever seen, which was to give me his hidden immunity idol. There's going to be some surprise people tonight, I think, and I'm here for 3 more days.
This is clearly too perfect. Bob is doing this as a self-preservation move, but the reality is that there's no reason to give Randy the fake. This is all strictly a personal rivalry between Sugar and Randy, with Bob caught in the crossfire where he has to pick a side. Sugar says tonight is going to be hilarious. So at Tribal Council, everyone goes to vote, and
I'm voting you, Susie, because payback's a bitch.
This vote is not strategic. It's strictly personal.
You are a disgusting, old, hot-headed, chauvinistic, alcoholic, bigot, and you need to grow up before you die alone. Loser.
You have made my life hell from day one. To get you, go home, goodbye.
If anybody has the hidden immunity idol and you want to play it, now would be the time to do so. This is not a hidden immunity idol. First vote, Randy. Susie. Randy. Susie. That's 3 votes, Susie. Randy. 11th person voted out of Survivor Gabon and the 3rd member of our jury. Randy, tribe has spoken.
That is an iconic tribal council. Now, upon arriving back at camp, Sugar is so happy, but Bob says tricking Randy is one thing, but rubbing it in his face on the way out the door, that's going too far. Sugar says whatever, that was far too much fun. The next day, Kenny and Bob catch a lot of fish for the tribe, but then we hear how much Kenny's ego has grown over the course of the season.
Bob doesn't look out for himself. He doesn't know how to play this game at all. He's just here to build things, and that's stupid, you know? You know, he's taught me a lot out here, but as far as playing the game, he's not very good at it.
Good job, Bob.
So I don't mind getting rid of Bob, and I feel like I need to pull the power into my own hands and take charge.
Kenny is kind of right, but that's not what's important. Unless Bob is bringing Kenny to the end, he needs Kenny to respect his game and earn his vote, though I am not 100% sure how he can do that as of now. So we go to the reward challenge, where everyone gets to see a short video from their loved one, and they're told, hey, if you win reward, you get food, and you get to watch the whole video. So with that, who wins it?
And very quickly, Bob wins reward.
Hi, Bob. How you doing?
You know I miss you an awful lot. There's something that I wanted to show you. Hang on.
Show me what?
The moment I saw Bob, I couldn't believe what he looked like. I was just so excited because he smelled like a campfire. He smelled so good, and he had that full beard.
Peggy's here. I was completely convinced, as was everybody else, that the loved ones sent a video.
Him and his wife are so adorable, but Kenny is jealous. He says if Bob doesn't win immunity, he's next to go. But all of that is pushed aside temporarily. As it turns out, everyone gets to see their loved ones, which results in a lot of sweet moments, like Sugar spreading her father's ashes, Maddie proposing to his girlfriend, and Corinne talking mad smack about everyone in the game. Actually, that Corinne bit was from a secret scene, but still, you get the point. For her, that's a sweet moment. After the tears have dried up, Maddie says Bob is the biggest threat in the game right now, and he needs to go. We then see Bob tell Corinne that he has a plan to make another fake idol and pretend this is the idol that Marcus threw in the ocean that he secretly retrieved. Corinne says, brilliant, let's do it. But now it's time for immunity, and can Bob save himself?
Bob wins immunity.
Good job, Bob.
Nice job.
Thank you, sir.
Bob is safe at tonight's tribal council, cannot be voted out of this game.
That is exactly what Bob needed. We then see him make a second fake idol, which looks just as good as the first one. But I have to ask the big question here. Will anyone even buy this, considering the fake idol that he tricked Randy with in the last episode? As it turns out, the answer is yes, Kenny. Kenny buys it. Mr. Big Shot himself buys this lie, hook, line, and sinker. Knowing that he needs one more vote besides Kenny and Corinne, Bob tries to convince Crystal as well, and she's like, I don't know about that. Maybe let me talk to Kenny. So at Tribal Council, everyone goes to vote.
First vote, Maddie. Corinne, 1 vote Maddie, 1 vote Corinne. Maddie, 2 votes Maddie. Maddie. Corinne, 2 votes Corinne. Corinne, that's 3 votes Corinne. 12th person voted out of Survivor Gabon and the 4th member of our jury. Corinne. Corinne, the tribe has spoken. Time for you to go.
Well, that didn't work out as planned. Kenny did flip though, and they needed 1 more vote to save Corinne, and Crystal, she didn't join them. Bob is flying solo now, and back at camp, Maddie is livid with Kenny for flipping on the Fong Alliance. Well, maybe Bob didn't win the battle, but he sure put a big dent into their alliance. However, Kenny then talks to him and...
You guys lied to me. No. Why didn't Corinne play the idol tonight? It's fake. So you guys did lie to me. I risked everything to try to save you, Corinne. This is what I get for being a nice guy. If I win the next immunity, I'll give it to you.
Bob offered to give me the immunity necklace. I made him feel sorry for me. This is a huge power play.
I feel horrible about it.
I made Kenny a promise that I wasn't playing him as a fool, and that I owned something, and I want to be, man of my word.
But why? Why would Bob offer that? Maybe if Bob were running the dominant alliance, he could offer something like that. But even then, no, I don't think this is ever a good play. These people just got done watching Micronesia and everything. And Fiji just happened a couple seasons ago where Yowman and Dreams made the deal, and that didn't go well either. So Bob goes on to win the reward challenge, and on that reward, Kenny talks to Bob about altering the deal.
I mean, if you win immunity, I could take a risk. You don't have to give to me the first time, but...
If I don't give it to you the first time, I'm not a man of my word, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
This is the plan. At the next tribal, I'll be wearing the necklace that I haven't won yet. And if Kenny feels that he needs it, and if he wants it, I will give it to him. If he thinks it's better off protecting me, he'll say, no, keep it.
Kenny is getting greedy, but pray he doesn't alter it further. Then again, his ego has gotten out of hand over the course of the season, so all of this kind of makes sense. Crystal and Kenny then fight with Maddie over the flip, and Sugar doesn't like this. She sees them as bullying Maddie, and Sugar wants the good guys to win, as she says. But now it is time for immunity, and...
Bob is right. Bob wins immunity. Once again, Bob is safe at Tribal Council after 36 long days. Tribal Council tonight, one of you will be going home.
Bob wins it, but the big question is, will he pull an Eric and give up the necklace and get voted out, or pull a Dreams, not give up the necklace and lose Kenny's jury vote? At camp, Kenny is acting strangely worried, and he says, I'm gonna need the necklace because I think I'm gonna be voted out tonight. Bob's like, what the heck are you talking about? No one's even mentioned your name. But then Sugar approaches Bob with a bomb of truth.
Kenny has come up with this elaborate plan to hoax Bob out of his necklace. If Bob were to give Kenny the necklace, then everybody would vote for Bob because they want to keep their 5 alliance. I don't want to be aligned with all those guys. I want to be aligned with the good guys. They told me that if you give Kenny the necklace, then they're gonna blindside you. That's the plan. And see, I wouldn't know that unless they told me that. I think we should vote for Crystal.
Sugar said to me that it was a blind side coming, which is an interesting thing because she hasn't done anything to show me that I can trust her. She has not done anything that shows me I can't trust her.
I really have a big place in my heart for you.
I appreciate that.
I will not vote for you. I know you're the biggest threat, but I don't care. I just think the good guy should win in the end.
Well, duh. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm glad Sugar told him because I truly think Bob might have pulled an Eric and said, yes, here's my necklace. And believe it or not, Micronesia did finish airing before the season began filming. They got to see the whole thing. They know what happened. This should still be fresh in their minds. At Tribal, Kenny attempts to guilt trip Bob in front of the jury, and this is not great. Everyone now knows about this deal, good or bad. So it is time. What will Bob do?
Bob, it's time to vote. You have the individual immunity necklace. You can keep it for yourself. You can give it to somebody else, including Kenny, if you want to. It is up to you.
I'm going to keep it because I don't think he's going home tonight.
Maddie, take this cursed thing away.
The rules of Survivor state that if somebody plays a hidden immunity idol, then any votes cast against that person will not count. The person with the next highest number of votes will be voted out. This is indeed a hidden immunity idol. First vote, Maddie, does not count. Maddie, does not count. Crystal, 1 vote for Crystal. Crystal, 13th person voted out and the 5th member of our jury. Crystal. Crystal, tribe has spoken.
Finale time. It is Bob versus Sugar versus Susie versus Maddie versus Kenny. As of now, it looks like Kenny will be voted off next. But I wonder if Bob can keep winning immunities to reach the final 3 because I don't think anyone's going to drag him there. Well, Kenny asked Bob if he will be getting the idol next time, and...
I thought it was going to be me.
That's why I didn't give you the idol.
The next time, what happens if it is me and you have an idol?
Why don't you get your own idol?
People this season love to dish out the smack talk, but then Sugar tells Bob that she wants him to be in the final 3 with her. Hey, sounds like a sweet deal to me. Kenny then says, it's over for Bob. He's not winning the next immunity. I am. So, who wins it?
Bob wins immunity! 5 straight challenges!
Thank you, Jeff.
For the 3rd straight time, individual immunity. You are safe once again at Tribal Council.
Beautiful. Just beautiful. 3 immunity wins this season for himself. How is Maddie not running the tables on everyone? He's 29, by the way, and Bob's 57, and Maddie's very much in shape. Back at camp, Sugar tricks Kenny into thinking Susie will be voted off next, so Kenny says, sweet deal, and then just proceeds to chill. At Tribal Council, we get some clarification from Kenny's mouth about what would have happened had Bob given up the necklace last time.
I really feel that Bob is actually going to back down on his deal, because the deal was that if he won the next challenge, he'd give it to me. And then he said, only if I think you're going. Apparently there was some small print at the bottom of the contract that you had to look at the magnifying glass to see.
Well, what I didn't realize was he went back to the tribe and discussed with people that when I gave them the necklace, that they would then blindside me. That was a small print in the bottom of the contract you forgot to read. That if I help you, you help me. Not if I help you, you stab me in the back.
If I felt like I was going to go that night, he'd give me the idol, and of course, who else are they going to vote for but Bob? It's not called a blindside, it's called saving me if I feel like I'm going.
Oh.
So Kenny, you don't see any problem with taking it and then him being vulnerable and going home. That's just the way the game goes.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said he'd sacrifice his life for me if that was the case. If that was the deal.
14th person voted out and the 6th member of our jury. Kenny. Kenny, tribe has spoken.
Wow, good thing Kenny is voted out, but I don't think Bob is getting his vote. The necklace never should have been offered. We then see Susie say that she knows she needs to win immunity or she's next to go. But if she does win immunity, she is getting rid of Bob. So, guess what? Susie does win that final immunity. Crap. The right move for everyone left in the game is to vote out Bob, because right now there are 4 CODA members on the jury, and they are likely to favor him over Sugar or Susie. Bob knows this and goes around hugging everyone and thanking them and saying, it was great 38 days with you. Susie then rubs it in his face and says, I have all the power, and he's like, seriously, shut up, Susie. But then Sugar makes a crazy emotional decision, says, Bob, what if I vote with you and we force a fire-making duel? Bob says, yes, please, yes, please, yes, please. We then see him go out and practice fire, but before we go to Tribal, I have to talk about the secret scene where Maddie's extremely nervous and Bob passes along some wisdom.
It is crazy that we're here.
Yeah, I gotta calm myself down. I can't have my nerves racing.
I think the best thing to do
Be
is
relaxed and just cruise, be in the moment, slow down.
That's where you can do your whole life now, right, guys?
Yeah.
Right? Slow down, relax. That's what you're taking away from this. The sort of teacher in me comes out occasionally, and I was talking to Maddie, saying to him, just enjoy your younger years, but also slow down. Maddie's a kid that I can see doing well in life. He struggles, and I think this will be a really helpful experience for him that will help him in life. Life is like this game. It's like 39 days on the first day, on the 10th day. 39 days was forever. All of a sudden, you're going to be 57 years old. You're going to be sitting in the middle of Africa with some surfer dude, keeping him warm at night.
This game is such a metaphor for life.
It is. And so, take it slow, take it easy, do your best.
It's going to be how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Now with that, it is time. Will Sugar stick with Bob, or is she going to backstab him like she has done to so many other people in this season?
First vote. Bob. Bob. Maddie. Maddie. In the case of a tie with only 4 people left, we go to a fire-making tiebreaker challenge. First person to build a flame high enough that lasts long enough to burn through the rope stays in this game, joins Susie and Sugar at the final Tribal Council. This challenge is on. We're getting a lot of spark, but no flame yet. Bob, first to get fire. Bob and Maddie fighting for a spot at that final Tribal Council and a chance to plead their case for $1 million. Bob's got an inferno going right now. Bob has burned through the rope. Bob has won this challenge. Bob is moving on to the final and will have a shot at winning this game and the $1 million. Maddie, tribe has spoken. Time to go.
Sugar gave Bob another chance and he dominated Maddie. I am shocked. Back at camp in a secret scene, we see Susie and Sugar bicker over the split vote and Bob says, whatever, I'm just thankful to be here right now. And the next morning, Bob sings as they count up the 39 days and they all enjoy their final day breakfast. Bob says there's only one thing left to do now: convince the jury he is worth giving $1 million.
Susie, Bob, Sugar, congratulations. You have gone as far as you can go in this game.
It is time. Final tribal council. Bob versus Sugar versus Susie. Who will the jury recognize as having played the best game? Well, Bob opens up with this.
38 days, I'd hope you wouldn't write down my name. With 39, I hope you do. I've played with gusto, with my heart. I've played hard. My game strategy was to come in here and use my personality, my survival skills to make my life and your lives better while I was here. I don't think I outwitted you. I don't think I outplayed you. The only thing I did was outlast you, but I'd just like to say that you people made this game one of the most exciting adventures of my life, and I feel privileged to have spent it with all of you.
First off, complimenting the jury is always a good move, but saying you didn't outwit or outplay them, not really as good. Charlie is the first juror, and he asked Bob a softball question about whether he liked cuddling, and Bob says, yeah, of course I like cuddling, and he likes Charlie. Crystal is second, and she asked Bob what he did strategically without Sugar.
Strategy-wise, I would say no, I was riding coattails. I really didn't need to do anything differently to get where I'm sitting.
Here's the reality. Sugar played the most impressive game this season, but she did it all while burning the jury. And here at this final tribal, she is doing a horrendous job, a top 5 horrendous job at answering their questions right now. So it isn't just Bob. Kenny is third, and he comes in hot with a grudge.
Now that I'm out of the game, I'm gonna go back to the deal that we made. The deal was that you won the next challenge, that you'd give me the immunity necklace. So I wanna know what happened.
When I said that, I intended to do it, assuming that when I said I will protect you, you would protect me. Once I became aware of the fact that you were organizing an assassination on me, you became the enemy. Sorry about that.
That was not what I wanted to hear from you, Bob. Okay, thanks.
That bridge was burned a long time ago. I don't think there's anything Bob could do to win him over, but Corinne is the fourth juror, and she just lays into Susie and Sugar hard, ripping them both new ones.
Susie, I have one question for you, and if you can answer yes to this question, I will give you my $1 million vote. If you get the money, will you agree to have your vocal cords removed? Sugar, you are an unemployed, uneducated leech on society. And the only thing I would vote to give you is a handful of antidepressants so that no one else has to be subjected to your constant crying anymore. And maybe if you got some, then it would seem a little more sincere when you are crying about your dead father. You don't deserve the $1 million.
I will take this as a win for Bob, though, because she doesn't do that to him. Marcus is fifth, and he asked Bob to take ownership of his game.
One example of when you chose to be responsible for your decisions while you were out there.
The occasion didn't come up for me to take control. I mean, I didn't need to. You people are making good decisions. There was no point in me stepping forward and saying, no, let's not do that.
Bob, dude, come on. Are you really going to give this game to Susie? Because believe it or not, nobody's voting for Sugar, but people are voting for Susie. Susie is winning over some of this jury while Sugar's blowing it. Randy is sixth, and...
Bob, did you not want my vote? I mean, it was a joke on me. She laughed.
Randy, it wasn't a joke on you. It was one of the few strategic things that I did.
It wasn't strategic at all. You had the votes to get me out of the game.
I was going to use the idol. I was going to bring it back to camp and let somebody see it. Think I had the idol and protect myself from being voted off. I didn't mean to embarrass you. I apologize. The only thing I can say is I was absolutely outraged at Sugar's behavior, and I went back to camp and I was pissed. That's the truth.
All three of you, kiss my...
I will give Bob credit for being humble. Apologizing goes a long way when being sincere, and when the other two players are hated more than yourself. Maddie is the final juror, and he asks Bob why the two women sitting next to him are more deserving of the win, and Bob says they're not. So now it is time. Who wins it all?
Susie. 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 Bob. 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 We are tied. 3 votes Susie, 3 votes Bob. The winner of Survivor Gabon, Bob.
So let's break this down. How is Bob as a character? Bob and his bow tie buff is an iconic winner that people still remember. It's amazing to me how his 2 fake idols are referred to as the best of all time, even today, and have fans thinking he made the very first one when in fact he didn't. He made it 5 seasons after the first one, but his was so good, that's how memorable it was. Bob is lovable, goofy, and a challenge beast. There isn't much to not like about him as a person from what we saw, and when he's with his wife Peggy, they are absolutely adorable. Some may wish he was more of an aggressive winner and took control of the game, but that's not who he is, and I bet the show is not planning on him becoming the oldest winner of all time. Out of 25 character moments on the show, 15 were heroic and 10 were villainous, making Bob a hero character on Survivor Gabon. Now, how is Bob as a strategist? He made 2 amazing fake idols, won 3 immunities, and was humble in front of the jury, and yeah, I mean, he did win, but he only did it by 1 vote over Susie. Susie. That's everything good. However, this is one of the messiest wins of all time, and him barely beating Susie speaks to that. In a way, it reminds me of Brian Heidick barely beating Clay. Like, you should have had a clean sweep, but so many mistakes were made along the way that stopped that from happening. All winners need some luck, and in Bob's case, he got Sugar in her emotional turmoil over him being like a father figure to her only months after her dad passed away. Bob earned the win, and I don't think it was very impressive, but hey, that $1 million check cashes all the same. Out of 52 strategic moments shown on the show, 34 were smart and 18 were dumb, making Bob a smart strategist on Survivor Gabon. Thank you for watching, and doubly thanks for liking and subscribing. See you all next time.